Well, apologies for that. Having the wrong screen there at the start. It should be high school boys. Training Center Christian School Eagles versus PCCS Knights. All right. All right, folks, that was the starting lineup for both teams. I do not have a roster for the Eagles. Didn't have one for the girls' team either, and that's okay. We'll just use numbers. I did get the clock back finally on my screen, so that should be Alden. Well, looks like number 5 got it, but tipped it out to Ledger. So the Knights get first possession. Landon over to Ledger over to Landon, back inside to Ben Walker. And Ben missed a layup, and the Eagles get possession. Fast break. Number 1 puts a shot up, and the Eagles, first one on the board, 2 points. And ball's over to Alden. Alden over to Landon. Landon and travel. He fell. My scoreboard did not update for some reason. All right. Eagles, number 1 on the far side, up to 23. 23, back to 3. 3 put the shot up. It was a miss, and there's Landon and 13 on a jump ball. Eagles bring the ball in and put it up. Missed it. Landon Gray's going to bring the ball down for the Knights. Landon over to Ledger. Ledger down to Landon in the corner. Landon driving along the baseline and draws a foul. White 13. Looks like that may have been before the shot. Ledger bringing the ball in, gives it over to Landon in the corner. Landon trying to drive along the baseline, turned around and blocked by number 13. And ball's out on White, so Ledger bringing the ball back in. Lucas Burton on the far side with the ball, hands it off to Gray. Landon Gray over to Rust. Rust driving along the baseline and puts it up to Gardner. Gardner with a beautiful shot. Missed it, but there's Ben Walker with a rebound and going for the putback, but it was a jump ball before he got the shot off. Shot was good, but the whistle was called before that. Eagles bringing the ball down. 23 has the ball. He's going to put it out to 3. 3 driving in along the baseline, passing it, intended for number 1 on the far side. Lucas Burton swatted it out of bounds. Number 5 bringing the ball back in under their own basket. Up top to number 3. He puts it down 23. Up top to 1. Driving down to the baseline. Into the paint. Put it up. Number 5 for the putback. And it's good for 2. It's 4-0. Landon Gray over to Ledger Rust on the near side. Ledger driving inside. Puts it up to Gardner. Gardner swinging around on the far side. and Landon in the corner. He's going to swing it back up, and Landon inside to Gardner. Gardner turning around with a jump shot. Miss. Eagles with the ball, number 13. Bounce pass over to 23. 23 down to 3. Who's open? And going to the free throw line, shooting for 2. That was on Gardner with a push. Free throw number 1 is a basket. That's for number 3 on the Eagles. 5-0. Free throw number 2 is a basket. So there's another point, 6-0. Landon bringing the ball down for the Knights. Landon passing it inside to Burton. Burton trying to get it to Gardner, and it's swatted across the line by 23. Gardner gets it back. He's driving inside, pass it over to Rust. Rust out to Burton, and Burton swinging inside and doing a jump shot. Good for 2. Knights are on the board, 6-2. 23 bringing the ball down for the Eagles. Over to 3 on the near side. Pass it across to number 1 up top. He gives it 23. 23 back over to 1 on the far side for a 3-point, and it was in, but it's out. And Ben Walker getting the rebound, gives it over to Landon Gray. And Gray bringing it across over to Rust on the near side. Rust driving inside, pass it to Gardner. Gardner driving and knocked away a couple of times, but he keeps it. Pass it over to Burton. Taking advantage of the screen, out to Gardner. No shot. And looking to pass it inside. Gives it to Burton, but 23 with a steal, and he's open. Goes for a layup. So it is 8-2. Waiting for my scoreboard to update. Things are running a little slow at the moment. And Gardner gets the ball from Gray, swatted out of bounds. I think out on White. We'll see what the ref says. Yep, that's correct, out on White. 23 trying to get the ball. Gardner bringing the ball in, passing it. Bounce pass to Walker. Walker up top to Gray. Gray passing it to Rust, intended for Rust under the basket. Out on Green. 23 bringing the ball down for the Eagles. Pass down to 1 who was open and puts it up, missed the shot. 13 got the putback, missed that. And Walker trying to get the rebound, ball's out. Apparently out on White. 3 minutes, 51 seconds left in the first quarter. Gardner brings the ball into Gray. Gray bringing it back across. Over to Walker under the basket, puts it up, missed the shot. 23 got the rebound. And long pass to number 1 who's open. And another 2 points for the Eagles. Timeout. Ref says 30-second timeout on the Knights. 3 minutes, 36 seconds left in the first quarter. Scores 10-2. Apparently my scoreboard did not update after that last basket. I hit it again. We'll see. There we go. Nope, it did. It just took forever. All right, I'm fixing that. There we go, 10-2. When I hit +1 on the scoreboard or -1 or +2 or something, when I change it, it seems to take a while to take effect, and I wasn't trusting that. All right, Landon Gray bringing the ball down for the Knights. Gives it over to Rust on the near side, driving it over to Gardner on the far side. Gardner driving down into the paint, pass it out to Burton. Burton over to Gray, who's open for 3, and off the rim. Ball is, Eagles saved it from going out of bounds, but it hit number 1's back and ended up going out of bounds. Good effort. I could see what they were doing there, and he thought the ball was coming a little quicker, so he turned around and thought he had it. Gardner brings it into Gray. Gray down to Burton in the far corner. Burton swinging it back around. Passing it down to Gray in the corner, putting it right up for three, and it's over the basket. Rust with a rebound. Rust out to Burton. Burton driving down to the corner, and I can't see what's going on from my vantage point. Looks like ball goes to Green. Trying to bring it into Burton. Tipped out, and possession stays with Green. Burton got the inbound, put it straight up for three, and it was a miss. 23 bringing the ball down. He's driving in the paint, putting it up, and it's good for two. Gardner brings the ball in, gives it to Gray. Gray bringing it down over to Rust on the near side. Rust swinging it back to the near side to Burton. Drive it down along the paint, and the ball's out of bounds. Off a toe. Apparently it's out on Green. White ball. 23 bringing the ball back for the Eagles. Pass down court to number 1, and the ball's out of bounds off White, I believe. Yep, ref says green ball. 12-2 at the moment. Gardner passes the ball into Gray. Gray over to Gardner on the far side. Up top to Rust, and ball's tipped, but Rust keeps it, gives it to Gardner, steps into the paint, and he's looking to pass it. Nope, he's going to put it up and miss the shot. Rust trying to get that rebound. 13 got it. 23 is bringing it down for the Eagles, and Landon Gray forcing a steal from 23 and goes for the shot. Missed that. And the Eagles save it from going out of bounds. Pass it down court to number 5. He brings it up top to 23. 23-3. 3 back up to 23. Across to 1. 1 back to 23. 23 inside to 5. Turns around, puts it straight up. Draws a foul. He's going to the free throw line, shooting for 2. And that foul's on Green. 52. I believe was the signal from the ref. First free throw's good. So it's 13-2. Second free throw was a miss, and Walker tipping it over to Burton. Burton gives it over to Gray to bring it down. And Gray to Rust. Rust into Burton. Burton with a jump shot from inside the paint. Gardner with a rebound. Well, it's stolen from 13. And Walker trying to get a hand on that. I think that was a reach. Not sure what the signal was the ref gave. But there's a whistle. Oh, that's for a sub, I think. Gideon Walker subbing in for Ben Walker. 5 brings the ball in for the Eagles. Gives it over to 23 to bring it down. 23 taking advantage of the screen. Passing it open to 13. And 13 puts it up for 2. 46 seconds left in the first quarter. And Landon Gray had the ball stolen, but Burton tipped it out. Landon puts it up. It's a miss. Apparently you can't make the basket from the underside. 23 bringing the ball down for the Eagles. Over to 3. 3 cross court to 1. 1 to 23 down to 3 in the corner. And 3 up for 3. And that's a good three-pointer for the Eagles. 18-2. 22 seconds left. 15. There we go. 18-2 on my scoreboard now. And Burton inside puts it up for a beautiful two-pointer. 18-4. 23 bringing the ball back. It up, and look at that. Another three-point shot for the Eagles. So it's 21-4 as we go into second quarter action. All right. Waiting for my scoreboard to update from first quarter to second quarter. It should be doing that momentarily. There we go. All right. Well, the clock is back, and it's working. We're not going to mess with it anymore. I've got it attached to the short wall right in front of me, so it shouldn't move around. During halftime, while we're on an 8-minute break, a 7 or 8 minute break during halftime, we'll look at upcoming scheduling events. I can tell you that tomorrow afternoon we start first game at 4 o'clock, middle school boys and girls tournament. And I believe the middle school boys may be the first game tomorrow. Actually, I've got that in front of me. Let me just pull that up where I can see it. Yeah, middle school boys play first at 4 o'clock. And then there's 2 games tomorrow. Middle school boys have 1, middle school girls have 1, and then they both have 2 games on Saturday. And all but one of those games will be live streamed. The last game on Saturday, starting at 2, will not be live, and it will not be recorded either. But everything else for the Clinton tournament will be live. All right. Second quarter action, Landon Gray bringing the ball down for the Knights. Over to Gardner. Gardner driving inside and passing it. Well, trying to pass it, and number 1 stole it. Pass it 23. Gave it to 3, who's open. Drives it down and puts up a layup. It's 23-4. Gray bringing it back. Gray over to Gardner, and another stolen pass from 23. Passing cross court to 1, putting the jump shot up, and it's good for 2. And the scoreboard now says 25-4. Gray bringing the ball back down. And over to Burton. Burton swinging it around to the far side. Gray down in the corner, trying to get it to Gray, but tipped out of bounds by 23. It's Knights ball. 42, Rust into Gray. Gray back to Rust. And Rust driving down to the corner, coming along the baseline, no shot. And he's going to pass it out to Gray. Steps over and gets a 3-point. Nope. It bounced off the inside of the rim. 23 with a rebound. And cross court a couple of times. 3, puts it up. Missed it. Gray got the rebound. And Gray bringing it back, gives it to Burton. Back to Gray. Gray brings it across. Inside to Burton. Burton going through the defenders, trying to put the shot up, and they tipped the ball. 3, back cross court to 3. I'm sorry, that was 23. 3 missed his shot. It's out to 23. He's driving inside. Passes it to 13, and the shot is good. So it is 27-4. Gray bringing the ball back. Gray bounce pass inside to Burton. Burton turning around, putting a shot up, and there's a foul. Burton going to the free throw line, shooting for 2. Fouls on White 3. Burton's going to get 2 shots, scores 27-4. Burton's first free throw is good. 27-5. Burton on the line for a second free throw. This shot is a miss, but Walker gets the rebound. Goes for the putback, missed it. Number 5 gets that rebound for the Eagles. 23 is going to bring it back across. Over to number 1 on the near side. Back up top to 23. Over to 12 on the far side. Steps inside the arc. Missed the shot. 5 got the rebound. Goes for the putback. Missed that. And Burton got that rebound. Over to Gray. Gray's bringing it down. Over to Rust on the near side. Rust over to Gardner on the far side. Gardner driving inside, no shot, tries to pass it to Rust. 23, tipped the ball, gets it out to Gray, and Walker there for the rebound on the missed shot, and the ball's out of bounds off Green. 23 bringing the ball back down for the Eagles, down to number 1, who put it up, and the ball was swatted away, but I think there may have been contact there. Ref says Green 52. Number 1 at the free throw line shooting for 2. 27-5 at the moment. His first shot was a miss. Second free throw is a miss, and 5 got the rebound over to 23. 23 driving into the paint and going to pass it over to 5. 5 put it up for 2. So it's 29-5. Gray bringing the ball back down trying to pass it. 23 with a steal, and he had some room to run. Puts it up for another 2. Score is now 31-5. Still waiting on my scoreboard to update. Apologies for that, folks. Another pass tipped up and stolen by the Eagles. And Ben Walker picks the ball up off the floor, turns around, puts it up, missed the shot. And Eagles get the rebound. Number 23 bringing the ball back. Over to 1. 1 to 23 on the far side. Inside to 5, turning around for a jump shot. He steps forward and puts it up, and it's good for 2. And official score is 33-5. Still waiting on my scoreboard to finish updating. Gray over to Rust. Rust down to Gray in the corner. And no shot. Inside to Burton. And the Eagles steal it. Number 1's wide open. Drives down, puts up another layup. Good for 2. And there's a full timeout on the Knights. Official score in the venue, 35-5. Well, mine matches now, but I'm not confident that there's not another button push going to go through here in a bit and change that to 37 by accident. We'll watch that, and if it does, we'll fix it. Folks, you're watching Pccs TV. When we get to halftime, we'll go through some upcoming scheduling events. I've talked about that. I'll bring the schedule up on the screen. You'll see the short-range calendar. But I'll share with you that the end of February, the Knights are going to the state championship in Joplin. And this will be the girls returning, trying to get a three-peat as state championship. And the boys will be going back, looking for their first win as state champs. So we'll see. I do believe that the Knights faced the Eagles last year at the championship. So this may be a preview of what that game may look like if we face them again this year. All right. My scoreboard's still holding 35-5, so maybe it's accurate at the moment. Number 23 with a three-point jump shot. Missed it. Burton got the rebound and hands it over to Gray to bring it back. And Gray over to Gardner. Gardner had some room. He's going to pass it back out to Gray. Gray driving in, putting the shot up, trying to draw a foul. And there's no foul. 33 got the rebound. Passes it to 12, who puts it up. Missed the shot. Gardner with a good rebound. White 14 with a foul there. Gardner bringing the ball up top to Gray. Gray, bounce pass out to Burton. Burton driving along the baseline and called for charging. Number 5 bringing the ball in for the Eagles, 35-5. 23 bringing it down. 23 over to number 3 with a three-point shot. It's 38-5. Gray bringing the ball back down. Over to Rust. Rust driving inside, passing it to Gray. Outside to Burton. Burton going for three, and it's good. So the Knights on the board with a three-pointer, first three of the night. And the venue scoreboard says 38-8. And there goes our scoreboard update. But the Eagles run it back and put it up for two, so it's 40-8. Gray down to Rust. Rust down to Burton in the corner, driving along the baseline, putting the shot up, and I thought that was in. 23, long pass, cross court to 2, who's open? No, that was 12. Put it up for 2, and it's 42-8. Gray bringing the ball down for the Knights. Inside to Burton. Burton driving down in the paint, and he's going to draw a foul for 2. That was on, I think, number 5. I couldn't tell if the ref had 2 hands up or not. Nope, there's only one number that ends in 5 on the court at the moment, so the foul was on number 5. Burton at the free throw line shooting for 2. The score is 42-8 at the moment. First shot is good. 42-9. Second free throw is good. Nothing but net on that one. 42-10. Well, the venue scoreboard is not updated. Maybe the ref didn't count that. Oh, there it goes. Okay. 42-10 is the official score. Gideon Walker providing good defense there on the baseline. And Gardner with a good rebound on a missed shot from the Eagles. Gardner is bringing it down for the Knights. Out to Gray. Gray, cross court to Burton, and Burton tipped it, trying to get the pass. It was a little high, and it's out of bounds. White ball. The Eagles bringing the ball in. Number 3 is bringing it down for the Eagles. Swinging it to the near side, slowing it up. He's driving down towards the corner, passing it in to 13. 13 trying to drive along the baseline. There was a whistle. Ref says travel. And Gray bringing the ball down for the Knights. Over to Gardner. Gardner over to Gray in the corner, putting it up for 3. Oh, off the side of the rim. Gray stealing the ball mid-pass, and it's out on White. Good IQ there. Gray saw an opportunity, bounced it off a White player, and put it out of bounds. So it's green ball still. 40 seconds left in the half. Gardner brings it into Burton. He goes around the defender, puts it up for an easy layup. Good for 2. It's 42-12. 31 seconds left in the half. 3 bringing it down for the Eagles. Over to 12. 12 up to 3. 3 with a jump shot from outside. It's a miss, and there's Gideon Walker with a beautiful rebound. Landon Gray bringing the ball down, gives it to Burton. Burton driving along the baseline, puts it up for 2, missed, and there's the buzzer at the end of the first half. All right, folks, while we're on a halftime break, they're resetting the clock, and we're going to get a 8-minute halftime. Let's look at the upcoming schedule. Well, if this thing will not take forever. All right. Either way, whether it comes up on your screen or not, I'm just going to switch it on a screen where I can see it. Oh, I see. It is over there. For some reason, it's way over on the right. No, I'm not going to mess with it right now. I'm just going to take it off, and I'll pull it up on my screen. Wow. I apologize, folks. Everything here in my TV studio is just running super slow. All right. Upcoming schedule. The games tomorrow. Middle school boys, 4 o'clock in Clinton. Middle school girls, 6 o'clock in Clinton. I do not have who we're playing or if we're going to be home or away. Both those games will be live. And then Saturday, first game at 9 a.m. That'll be middle school girls. 10 a.m. is middle school boys. 11 a.m. middle school girls. And those games will all be live. And then we're going to have to leave before the 2 o'clock middle school boys game. Again, I don't have any of the opponents listed yet. That hasn't been released. And then on the 20th, high school girls, high school boys travel to Fort Scott, Kansas, playing Fort Scott Christian Heights Crusaders. First game at 5:30. And that should be either live or recorded. I don't think they've ever had Wi-Fi for us in the past. So if they don't have Wi-Fi for this game, it'll be a recorded game and we'll upload it later. And while we're talking about that, if we are live, you can find our live streams at youtube.com/@PCCS. And if we're not live and we record a game and upload it later, you'll be able to find that at youtube.com/@PCCS/ and that's it. Just youtube.com/@PCCS. That'll be all of our recordings, both live and recorded. If you add a /live to the end of that, then you'll see our live streams. So, after the Fort Scott game on the 20th, we'll be traveling to Marshfield to play Marshfield CIA. Christians in Action, I believe is what that is. And that'll be an away game. And again, I don't think there's Wi-Fi, but we will record and upload it later on the 26th. Now that Marshfield game will be middle school boys, high school girls, high school boys. First game starts at 5:30. And then on the 26th, we travel to Humansville, high school girls, high school boys, playing Humansville Tigers. And that will be live. They've been gracious enough to let us use their Wi-Fi in the past. And then on the 27th, traveling to middle school boys and middle school girls, traveling to Springfield and playing Gloria Deo. First game at 6 o'clock. That should be live. January 30th, high school girls, high school boys, traveling to Hollister. First game at 5:30, and those should be live. Then we switch to home games for 3 games. February 2nd, middle school girls, middle school boys in Bolivar versus Gloria Deo. That should be live, but we're not sure which school that's going to be at yet in Bolivar, or which gym. February 5th in Bolivar, middle school boys, high school girls, high school boys versus Riverview Christian School at 5:30. That game will be at the intermediate school. And I believe that should be live. February 10, home games, middle school boys, high school girls, high school boys versus Marshfield CIA. First game at 6 o'clock back at Bolivar Middle School. Then 2 games left before the state championship. That'll be high school girls, high school boys versus Show Me Christian at Lamont, Missouri, up near Sedalia. That's on February 13. So if you want to travel to Sedalia the day before Valentine's Day, take your sweetheart out for dinner. First game starts at 5:30. That will be either live or recorded, depending on Wi-Fi availability. And on February 17, away game, last away game of the season other than the state championship. That'll be high school boys playing Springfield Trinity at Springfield. And I don't know that I've ever been there, so I don't know if that'll be live or recorded. But I will be there with camera equipment. So it'll be either live or recorded, one or the other. And then, of course, all of the state games should be live unless there is a conflict between the boys and the girls playing at the same time. If that's the case, or if They play one right after the other, but at different venues, and I can't make it to the next venue in time. The preference will be given to the girls only because the girls are returning state champs. Otherwise, we would certainly consider going to the boys' games first. So, Joplin, the state tournament starts in Joplin February 26th, 27th, and 28th. 3-day tournament. If you've never been, it's a great time. I recommend it. I will share out, once Coach starts sending out information on that, I'll share a map to the possible venues that we normally use in Joplin. And those are generally in either Joplin or in Carthage. Last year for volleyball, this last fall, we did play some games at Ozark Christian College, which is northwest Joplin. Still in Joplin, but that was the first time for us at Ozark Christian College, home of the Ambassadors. They were great hosts. But most of the Joplin venues do have Wi-Fi, so expect those games to be live. All right, folks. Looks like we are less than a minute from game time. Second half action. This is the last game of the night. Players are back out on the court. Looks like possession goes to Green. 8 minutes on the clock. We're in third quarter action and the game is live. You're watching Pccs TV. Landon over to Ledger Rust. Ledger over to Gardner. Gardner driving in, putting the shot up. First 2 points in the second half goes to Alden Gardner. Number 10 for the Knights. 23 bringing the ball back across for the Eagles. Over to 1. 1 to 3. 3 back across to 23. Back to 3. Going for a three-pointer, and it's out. No good. Ledger Rust with the rebound. Over to Landon Gray. Score is 42-14. Landon out to Gardner. Gardner swinging it up top, and Eagles trying to steal the ball. Rust picks it up off the floor, and Rust passing it to Burton. Burton looking for an open player. He drives down to the corner, passes it off to Gray. And Gray driving inside, passes it out to Burton. Burton driving along the baseline, puts it up, and missed the shot. And ball's out on White, I believe. Possession goes to Green. Burton bringing the ball in for the Knights. Passing the ball to up top to Gardner. Gardner driving inside. Ball's tipped. Gardner picks it up, passes it to Gray. Gray down to Burton. Burton driving along the baseline. Puts a shot up and miss. Number 5 with a rebound gives it out to 23. 23 passing down court to 3 and going for the shot. There's a whistle before the shot. That was on 1-0. Gardner with a foul. No free throw shot because the foul was before the shot. Number 5 bringing the ball in for the Eagles. Over to 23. 23 put it straight up for a two-pointer. 44-14 at the moment. Gray bringing the ball down. Pass it inside to Burton. And the ball is tipped and stolen by 3. He passed it to number 1. Passed too far. Number 1 couldn't quite get to it. It's out and green ball. Gardner's going to bring it in for the Knights. Gives it to Gray. Gray bringing it down. Over to Rust. Rust drive it down, pass it out to Gray. Gray with a three-point shot, and it's a miss. And 23 getting the ball, passing it inside to 1. 1 putting it up, and it's good for 2. So it's 46-14. Gardner brings the ball into Gray. Gray coming across over to Burton on the far side. Burton going for 3, and across the basket and back. Gardner with a rebound, puts it out to Gray. Gray, no shot, pass it inside to Walker. There's Walker. Oh, that's a miss. and 23, bringing it down for the Eagles. Over to 3 on the near side. Jump shot for 3, missed it. Gardner with the rebound, gives it over to Gray. Gray bringing it down, driving straight in. Number 3 stole the dribble, and he's open, puts it up for a layup. Good for 2. It's 48-14. Gardner brings the ball back into Gray again. Gray bringing the ball across over to Rust. Rust driving inside, putting the shot up and missed, but Walker with a putback, good for 2. 48-16. 23 bringing the ball down, gives it to 1 on the far side, I believe. Drives inside, passes it to 13. 13 put it up for 2. It's 50-16. And Gray bringing it back across. Over to Gardner. Gardner swinging it up top. Pass it over to Gray on the far side. Gray inside to Walker. Walker with a bounce and goes to put it up, and the ball's out on White. Gardner bringing the ball in for the Knights. Passes it into Walker. Walker putting it up, missed it, and 13 with the rebound to 23. 23 bringing it back, trying to make a fast break. He drives straight down into the paint, went to put it up, missed the shot, and I think Shooter and 52 ran into each other. 52's taking a minute to catch his breath. Not sure if he got hit in the stomach or exactly what happened there. Maybe on the knee. He's walking a little tender, but he's moving off the court okay. Ben Walker, folks, moving under his own power. He's just going to take a breather. And Gideon Walker going to sub in. Alden Gardner's going to bring the ball in for the Knights. Gives it to Gray to bring down. Landon Gray bringing it across. Over to Rust. Rust driving inside. Pass it out to Gardner. Gardner driving inside and putting up a beautiful jump shot. Not quite in. 23 with a rebound. And he's driving down. And bounce pass cross court to 5. 5 down to 3 on the near side. 3 back to 23 for a 3-point jump shot. And it was good. 55-16. Somehow I missed a basket. My scoreboard's not quite right. I just hit 3 points, so that should show up in a minute. And then I'll have to put 2 more. But there's Gardner with a 2-pointer. 23 bringing it back. The official score inside the venue here, 55-18. I'll straighten out my scoreboard momentarily. Eagles putting the shot back up, but the ball's out of bounds. I think out off White. There's a timeout. I missed too, the timeout. Full timeout, I think on Eagles. That's correct. All right, 55-18 is the official score here. And my scoreboard's matching that at the moment. All right. Folks, appreciate our volunteers here. As we mentioned in the previous game, the high school girls game, we've got several volunteers here for Pccs, but there's also volunteers here from Tccs working the concession stand. Looks like they've got a good spread out over there. They've got volunteers working the gate, taking the admission fee, and of course they're working the scoreboard and running stats as well. So appreciate everybody that's volunteering for PCCS, and always appreciate the refs being here, doing their part, putting on a professional game. Landon Gray getting the ball from Gardner, bringing it down. We're still in third quarter action, down to 3 minutes on the clock, and Burton stepping back for a shot, missed it, and 23 with a rebound. Pass it down to 3. 3, drive it in, putting the shot up, draws a foul. I don't know if that was before or during the shot. We'll see. I think he's going to shoot for 2. Foul on Gardner, number 10. Number 3 at the free throw line shooting for 2. First shot is good. So it's 56-18. And second shot, no good. But number 5 with a putback. So it's 58-18. Gray bringing the ball down. Passing it across to Burton on the far side. Burton had the ball tipped. And out to Gardner. Gardner swinging her down, driving between the defenders, puts it out to Burton. Burton with a three-point jump shot off the rim. And 23 with a rebound. And charging on 23. So that's going to be green ball on the far sideline. Gardner's going to bring the ball in for the Knights. Gardner over to Gray. Gray back to Gardner. Gardner driving into the paint, putting the shot up. It's tipped, and 23 got the rebound, or the tip. 23 down to 12. 12 stepping inside for a two-point jump shot, and it's good. So it's 60-18. Gardner to Gray to bring it down. Gray brings it down and hands it over to Rust. Well, it's tipped by 12, and he's open. Going to put up a jump shot, and it's good for 2. Good steal. Gardner back to Gray to bring it down again. Gray into Burton. Burton turning around with a jump shot. Missed that, but, 13 got the rebound. Gives it to 23 to bring it across. 23 over to 3. 3 to 13 with a jump shot and missed. 5 with a putback, and there's Burton on the rebound. And Gray gives an assist on the rebound, make it a fast break, and goes to put it up. Number 3 swats it away. Gardner steals the loose ball, gives it to Gray. Gray with a three-point sinks a tray from the corner, folks. Beautiful shot. So the score in the venue is 62-21. My scoreboard should be updating shortly. Number 3 has the ball, puts it up to 23, going for a 3, missed it, and Gideon with a good rebound, pass it over to, Gardner. Burton gets the ball. And under a minute in the third quarter, Gardner's got the ball. He's swinging it around, driving inside, putting up a layup, making it look easy. 2 points, 62-23. 36 seconds left. 23 bringing the ball down for the Eagles. Down to, I missed who had that. That was number 3, but regardless, one of the other players put it up, and it was good for 2. Official score, 64-23. And Gray has the ball up top. He's going to bounce pass, intended for Burton, but it's out. And white ball. 13 seconds left in the third quarter. 5 bringing the ball in, gives it to 23 to bring it across. 23 over to 3 on the far side. 3 driving down, puts it back up to 23. 23 up to 5. 5 cross to 12. 12 back to 23 for a buzzer beater. Good effort, but it was not in. So at the end of the third quarter, it's 64-23. Looks like we'll be taking a 1-minute break between quarters. Folks, you're watching PCCS TV. As always, Polk County Christian School athletes, staff, spectators, and volunteers always strive to set a Christian example at all times, both on and off the court. Well, I apologize. My software is running really slow, so there may be some audio that I queued up during that brief break that starts on its own here in a bit. All right, Eagles bring the ball in, down to 1 in the corner. He puts it up, missed it. Walker with a rebound. Ben Walker's back in. Gives the ball over to Gray to bring it down. Gray over to Gardner. Gardner down to Gray on the far side, puts up a 2-point jump, and Gardner with a rebound. Gray missed the shot, but Gardner and number 5 in a jump ball. So possession goes to Knights. Gardner into Gray. Gray steps in, and Walker trying to get the ball up on the missed rebound. Still 64-23. Eagles bringing the ball in. 23's bringing it down. Over to 3, driving into Walker and trying to put the shot up. And apparently Walker must have taken a step because that foul, I think, was on Ben Walker. Yep, 52. I said he wasn't planted. Apparently when you're going to block somebody, you got to have your feet still. And his were in motion at the moment. All right, second free throw effort. Score still 64-23. Second free throw was good. So 65-23. Gardner brings the ball into Gray. Gray bringing it down, passes it inside to Burton. He's trying to get around the defender, put shot up, and it's knocked. But Gardner gets the rebound, puts it back up for 2. So it's 65-25. 23 bringing the ball back down for the Eagles. Driving in, pass it across to 5, and missed the shot. Walker there with a rebound, gives it to Burton. Burton over to Gray. Gray back into Burton. Burton stepping into the paint, putting the shot up. It's a miss, and number 5 passed the ball over to 23. 23 down court to 1, who's wide open. Puts it up for an easy layup. Gardner brings it back into Gray. Gray down to Gardner. Gardner driving inside, taking advantage of the screen, puts it out to Gray. Gray for a beautiful 3-point shot. Love to see that. But the score is 67-28 at the moment. That's the official score. Okay, 23 driving into the paint and puts it up for 2. So the score is 69-28. Gray bringing the ball back down after getting it from Gardner on the inbound. Over to Rust. Rust driving down to the baseline, puts it out to Gray. Straight up for 3, and it's off the rim. And no good, but Burton got the rebound. And whistles. See what the call is. White 3. Green ball on the baseline. 69-28 is the official score in the venue. Gardner brings it into Gray. Gray passes it into Gardner. Gardner turns around, puts it up for a simple 2, like he does that all the time. 69-30. 23 bringing it down. Gives it to 3, passes it out to 5. 5 puts it up for 2. He did that like he's practiced that before. Gray bringing the ball down for the Knights. Over to Burton in the corner. Burton driving along the baseline and puts the shot up, miss, and the ball's out of bounds on White. Gardner's going to bring the ball in for the Knights. He's passing the ball to Gray in the corner. Gray puts it straight up for 3. It's off the side of the backboard. And the Eagles with a rebound down to 1 who's open. Puts it up, missed the shot, but 13 there for the putback. And it's good. It's 73-30. Gardner brings the ball into Gray. Gray down to Rust. Rust driving down to the baseline, putting it over to Gray, who drives along the baseline, missed his shot, and 23 got the rebound. He's passing it down to 12, who's open. It's across the basket. 1 got the rebound, puts it out 23, back to 1 in the corner, going up for 3. And folks, that's a swish. That's a 3-pointer for the Eagles. Score 75-30. Oh, maybe the ref said that was a 2-pointer. Score in the venue is 75-30, and my scoreboard should be matching that momentarily. .23 bringing the ball back down for the Eagles. There we go. My scoreboard updated. And 23 driving down into the paint, passing it, and Landon Gray with a beautiful steal. Driving it down, putting the shot up. Oh, almost had it. Number 12 with a rebound, gives it to number 1, who's wide open, and puts the shot up in front of Ben Walker, and it's good for 2. It's 77-30 in the venue. Landon Gray bringing the ball down over to Gardner. Gardner swinging it around, driving inside, passes it over to Burton. The ball's tipped, and Burton keeps control. Pass it down to Gray. Puts it up for an easy 3. Oh, it's across the basket. Was in and back out. And timeout on, not sure who the timeout was on. Might have been on the Eagles. Not sure. All right, 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in fourth quarter, regulation play. Score is 77-30. All right, folks, players are back out on the court. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. White ball in their backcourt at the baseline. Number 12 bringing the ball into number 3. 3's bringing it down for the Eagles. Landon Gray's going to meet him at the half-court line. Over to 3. Nope, 12. Back to 3. 3 to 14. 14 going for a three-point effort. Missed it, and there's Ledger Rust with a rebound. Over to Landon Gray to bring it down. Landon passing it into Burton. Burton driving down to the bottom of the baseline. And Ledger picks up a loose ball. Missed it. Burton with a putback. Good for 2. Score 77-32. 3 bringing the ball down for the Eagles. Over to 20. And Lucas Burton with a block on that. Gives the ball over to Landon Gray to bring it back. Landon driving down into the paint, puts shot up. Oh, it's over the basket. Gideon Walker trying to get the rebound. Ball's out on White. Tyler Anderson subbed in. He's going to bring the ball in for the Knights. He's passing it over to Landon Gray in the corner. Landon driving through the defenders, put the jump shot up. No good. Gideon Walker for the putback. Good for 2. Number 3 bringing the ball down for the Eagles. Down to 12 on the far side. Back up top to 3. Looks like they're slowing it up. Over to 14 on the near side. Missed the shot. Gideon Walker and Tyler Anderson on the rebound. Tyler, well, number 3 stole the ball. Passing it down court to 12. Rust there for the defense. 3 puts it up. And Gideon with a rebound gives it out to Rust. Rust over to Burton. Burton to Gray to bring it down. Landon Gray driving straight into the paint. Puts shot up. Ref says shot's good for 2. And there was a foul on White 3. So Landon Gray going to the free throw line, shooting for 1. Official score in the venue is 77-36. And the clock's still running. Landon shooting for 1. Well, they've stopped the clock. Okay, folks, I think that may be a final. All right, that is the final. TCCS Eagles on top, 77-36. Thanks for joining us. You're watching PCCS TV.
This podcast is copyright Polk County Christian School, 2490 West Tower Drive, Bolivar, Missouri. Stop by our school to see what we are doing to provide a Christian education for students in our area. All rights